Welcome everyone to episode 32 of the Video Game Book Club. I'm Tubby Mora, and today I am joined by Lady Bun Buns and Mr. McMahon. Say hello, everyone.
What's good?
Hello.
So this time around, we are going to be focusing on Spacelines from the Far Out. The game was developed by Coffee Knots, published by Skystone Games, and was originally released on June 9th, 2022 for Xbox Game Pass and Steam. On Coffee Knots' official website, it reads, quote, "In space, no one can hear you complain about overbooking. It is a procedurally generated co-op adventure where you and your friends are the crew of an intergalactic travel company. It's your job to get your passengers to their location safe, happy, and hopefully with as little vomiting as possible." Oh God. But that's how the website describes the game. How would everyone here describe the game? The order of presenting will be Mr. McMahon Meat, Tubby Mora, which is me, and then Lady Bun Buns. So with that said, let's get started. Question 1. Describe the game in one sentence.
Space Horizon Zorgways is the top space line in the galaxy period next. I'm kidding. Spacelines from the Far Out is a complex management space roguelike that takes place in space, where you and your space airline crew have to make your way through space in your trusty spaceship from point A to Gambulon 5 in one piece in space. Next.
All right. Spacelines from the Far Out is a wacky co-op management game that teaches you about the hazards of luxury space travel. If the passengers' constant need for food, entertainment, and bathroom breaks don't kill you, then the comet hurtling towards you at 2,000 miles per hour will. Next.
Spaceline from the Far Out is an interstellar, chaotic blend of the golden era of air travel with the utopian space age of the 50s and the 60s. Oh yeah, did I mention that it's in space? Next.
Ooh, space.
Space.
So next question. What platform did you play the game on? And briefly describe your playstyle towards the game.
Okay. I played Spacelines from the Far Out here on Earth.
All right,
through
cool.
Xbox Game Pass. You too, huh? I played the 3-player co-op strictly. We beat the game like what, 3 times?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 times.
5 stars every single time.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like I don't think the developers built the game to be played by absolute pros like us.
Yeah. Humble brag.
Like I just want to put it on my resume that I worked for Shiz and you know how good we were. No, but I mean there were no difficulty options, like options to adjust difficulty. No side quests, just simply getting from point A to point B. Simple but sweet. My play style was pure stewardess build. Passenger comfort was my primary focus. And you know, just like with any other cooperative experience we play together, we don't necessarily predetermine our roles. Instead, we just kind of fall into our respective roles over time and we stick to it and it works. We synergize well and it's freaking crazy to me and it's awesome. I love it. Next.
So just like Mr. McMahon Meat here, I too played this game on the planet Earth on
no way.
the Xbox Game Pass with a wireless red Xbox Series X controller. I gotta specify, I gotta go brand name here.
Wow.
First, when I first started, I was mostly responsible for repairing a lot of the ship systems. So mostly an engineer, specialized spec for my character, my loadout. A lot of it came down to taking calls on the communicator for pit stops, rerouting the ship's power to whatever was needed, and occasionally, you know, keeping the passengers entertained and the occasional vomit cleaning once in a while. But towards the end, when the game started to get more difficult, I kind of respect my my character class. And I started to become more responsible for piloting the ship, especially when we started to get to the points where we were getting hit by like multiple like comets. I handled a lot of the ship handling, the navigation system, and then the fuel management. And then my sister McMahon Meat started to, because it started to get crazy with the passengers, what they were trying to do. they would both tag team and try to keep them in check. But yeah, so I went from engineer to the piloting the ship. Now, in terms of ships, we tried the ship setup that had the seats first, and it was great. But the biggest problem was that passengers would be vomiting everywhere, wanting to use the bathroom. There were a lot of stops, and we found out a lot of time was being wasted. So we tried to switch to the ship with the bathrooms, but then we realized the biggest problem there was passengers kept wandering around the cabin, just kept freaking touching everything.
Stop that.
Yeah. So I mean, in the end, we went back to the first ship, the one with the seats, and then we just kept sticking with that ship until we upgraded to the one with seats, the bathroom, the medic bay, and of course the TV. The moment we got that ship, it was game over, smooth sailing, 5 out of 5 stars, and then we pretty much were flawless with every single one of our voyages. So we're awesome. I'm gonna put on the resume. So that's like a good resume builder. Next.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just like my 2 co-pilots here, I too, however, played here I played here on the moon on Xbox.
On the moon this whole time?
Yeah. I was telling us now? I'm on the moon the whole time.
Oh my god. Yeah. That's crazy.
On the Xbox Game Pass, using a Red Hot Salsa Xbox controller of unknown. It's just battery operated, nothing too special. I got it on Amazon.org, so they shipped it to me here on the moon. And my play style, is a part-time professional breakdancer. I'm a professional X and A and B, whatever the button combo was. I'm a professional breakdancer, and also a part-time super sexy hot green alien pilot.
Yeah.
For the majority of the time, I was the pilot towards the beginning to mid half of the game. So, and part-time all-around professional airline professional.
What are 2 things you liked about the game? And we will be alternating for this one.
All right. I thought it'd be easy for me to pick out something that I liked about this game. So many things to like about it. I actually struggled quite a bit.
Yeah.
The Spacelines it's a charming ball of delight. It's so many things to like about it. But if I had to pick one thing or 2 things out of the dozen things that I liked, one of them would have to be that you had to strategically plan your route. What I mean by that is that your next destination is solely dependent on your current circumstances. And there's so many variables that go into play when making that decision. For example, you see an upgrade station to get that sweet battery upgraded for your ship. But you're not sure if you'll have enough money by the time you get there. So you have to see if there's a bank en route to the upgrade station so that you can withdraw money to afford said sweet battery upgrade. But if there's a bank on the way to the upgrade station, you're left with the option of still going to the upgrade station and hoping you have enough money by the time you get there, or finding another preferred route. But then regardless of the route, you also have to make sure there's like a service station somewhere close by, because there's asteroids and comets in your path. But it's only if you have enough gas to make it to the next destination. In the end, you can have a route in mind, but you have to take in all the long-term factors into play. But speaking of long-term factors, you also have your short-term factors that could potentially alter the decisions you make on what route you'll take. For example, a passenger gets antsy from lack of entertainment, messes with the gravity of the ship, breaks it, so we have to go fix it. But while we're floating around without gravity, attempting to fix it, a comet approaches our ship. But since we're all floating around, it takes us longer to get to our stations to prepare, avoiding the comet. But due to the passenger's bad decision-making driven by neglect, our ship takes a head-on collision with the comet and is damaged. By the time we get the gravity fixed, one passenger poops their pants, another gets sick and vomits, thus causing a chain reaction of one of us getting sick and vomiting, and we have to look for like a nearby med bay or something to bring everyone back to good health because you don't have a med bay on board. But it's because of all of this, it would waste a lot of time getting to your destination, and you would have to get there as fast as you can, if you wish to save whatever ratings you have left, but that's only given if you have enough gas to floor it to the next stop. But anyway, yeah, a lot of variables go into play in each route, and I really admired that about the game. Yeah, strategically planning your route while taking all the variables into account, having to adapt on the fly to unforeseen circumstances. Things got crazy intense at times, and I think that's where this game actually really shined. Yeah, that's it. Strategically planning your route. Next.
Yeah. Just like Mr. McMahon, me, I'm just gonna bum off of what you said.
Oh, go ahead.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
Because it really is honestly one of the best things about this game, and
it's so awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the approach of there is this really strong emphasis of a risk versus reward style of gameplay, which is something you typically don't see in these co-op management style games. In fact, it's probably the first time I've seen it where you just like what McMahon was saying is you have to strategically think about what you want to do, what your goal is. And I freaking love that. Planning your routes. Are you going to take a more dangerous route with a higher reward value with that nice shiny package at the end? Or are you going to play it safe and not go the route of the freaking million comments about the smash to your ship? Or something as simple as choosing to hoard your money in hopes of reaching an upgrade shop? Or do you want to play it safe and just insure your ship and make sure you actually get to your destination alive? It's such a small thing, but the fact that we had complete control in how we want to strategize our entire voyage was amazing. That was actually one of the reasons why every single week, every time it was time to play this game, we were so excited because we were like, what is this? What's in store for us next? What are we going to do? Because we'll be honest, despite us being 5 out of 5 amazing god tier amazing god tier airline now, when we first started, we were getting destroyed. Like there was vomit everywhere. We kept running out of gas. We kept smashing into things. Power kept breaking. It was complete and utter chaos. But it felt so rewarding because every single time we failed in this game, once we start to learn the mechanics and learn to balance that risk versus reward playstyle, we got good and we got better, and we just kept getting better to the point where we started 5-starring everything. And then that's when we knew we got it. We are the best airline in this game, hands down. Shiz for life. But shiz it is. It's just, I freaking love it. The risk versus reward style of gameplay is just awesome. You don't really see that very often in these co-op management games, and just having the ability to make those active key decisions and just knowing that it will affect what the outcome is going to become is amazing. So I really applaud the developers on that. Well done. Next.
I'd have to say, I don't know if I've ever, encountered this before, but is there a game that is similar to this where it's roguelite and co-op time management? I don't know if I've ever played a game anything like this. And what I just absolutely adore about this game is that it's a combination of both.
Mm-hmm.
That's the two genres that I enjoy playing the most. I don't know what else to say other than, this is to me, unless there's other games out there, please let me know if there is. But this roguelike and time management thing, it's awesome. I like that style. I wish there were more games like this.
Yeah.
Are there more games like this?
I honestly,
it's pretty unique.
Yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Yeah. I didn't think so.
Yeah, usually these co-op management games, they're structured level by level, not like this where it was like roguelite and it was just one long voyage. It's really unique. So I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Yeah, it's just this genre, this type of game. It felt like it was one of a kind, and it's been a while, but I felt excited. I genuinely enjoyed the game, and I looked forward to playing it every week to see how far we could progress in this. So, yeah. Next.
Okay. The second thing that I liked about Spacelines is that even in the quote unquote dullest of moments, there's always something to do. I mean, ranging from meandering about the space station or cruising along the easier difficulties, the game presents endless ways for you to keep you busy. For example, the last time we played, Lady Bun Buns had gone to the bathroom to presumably go do number two. And
Not
tell me
true.
more. Okay. But, well, Tommy Moore and myself, we spent a considerable amount of time inside of the space station, like abusively manhandling passengers in an effort to trap them into a corner.
I remember this.
We didn't exactly have a plan as to what we're trying to accomplish or what we were gonna do with the passengers once we, trap them. But it doesn't matter. It was something to do. But if you were on the ship and no passengers required immediate attention and the flight was going smoothly, there's always something to do. Always. I mean, you could grab the wrench and make sure all the ship systems are in tip-top shape. Or you can hop on the ship's nav systems and be on the lookout for places to stop, pick up more passengers, look out for comets, asteroids, whatever. And if everything's gravy, you just dance. Just dance for the passengers. They loved it. They love it. There was never a dull moment in Spacelines. You could always challenge your brain to whatever extent you feel you're capable of or that you're comfortable with. And regardless of where you are, or what you're doing in the game, you can always be doing something. And it was just straight entertainment. It was fun. I loved it. Never a dull moment. Next.
Okay. For me, one thing I really liked about the game, and this also stems from the fact that spent a lot of time with the piloting and navigation portion of the game. I thought the environmental hazards were awesome. Like the whole, yes, I'm not gonna lie, it was stressful at times, navigating the asteroid fields, the large asteroids, the high-speed comets. Holy crap. That one was always a blast. Of that thrill of knowing whether or not your whole run could be ended with one hit of a comet. That excitement, it kept everyone on their toes, especially the pilot, but not even just the pilot, because sometimes I know when the camera started to shift or I would do like a major turn, I know that you guys, when you're helping the passengers, you can feel it too, like the camera pulling out, or like we're hitting some turbulent space line stuff. Like it was crazy, but it was so much fun, and I'm glad that they had all that stuff, because they could have easily just made it where the space line would just go from point A to point B, and then all we have to focus on is just helping the passengers. But no, they went above and beyond, and they made it more complex. Managing the power was also a crazy thing too. It's just all of that combined with the environmental hazards for that added layer of complexity. I just really enjoyed, and it was great. It was exciting. Like that was definitely the most fun role I had playing the game. I enjoyed steering the ship and just making sure we got there alive. So I liked it. Next.
The second thing that I enjoyed, or I loved about the game, was the details and the character design. We're talking about how every time I giggled, every time we hit something, or what do you call it? There was an issue with the gravity within the ship, and everybody's floating, everybody's puking, and there's so many things going on, and it was so amusing to me. Down to the details at I don't know what you call it, the airline, the airport, the spaceport. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But the details that went into it, some of them look like a realistic, like you'd see at an airport. And some of them, I don't know if you guys noticed, some of them are themed. And the one that I really liked and I thought was really put together was like this tiki looking themed
Disco one?
Oh, like the one with the stage and everything?
Yeah. There was one that was like Tiki Island vibe, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's so cute. It's got a little waterfall, even the details at the shops, the shops at some of the the ports is what I'll call it, down to the service station where you can get gas and all that. I would look around to see what little details the devs had put in there, and I thought it was really cool. It was really original. It definitely had that golden era vibe, and the little characters, from the passengers to the employees of the She's Knees, they were all kind of weird, but then there were some that were really cute, and I think I appreciate that it was very, I don't know if you guys cut onto it, but it was very gender neutral too.
Mhm.
So some were neither female or a male. It was neither, and it could be whatever you wanted it to be. So I really appreciate that little detail on that. But yeah, the details and of the characters and the layout and just everything was very appealing. So I really liked it.
Wobbly eyes.
Yeah.
I love that.
I really
Eyes.
enjoyed the gelatinous, stewardess and stewards, and even like the gelatinous passengers. When they run, they wobble and shake. It was just
Yeah, that was great. That was
funny.
awesome.
It's so funny. It's so cute. Next.
All right, pop quiz. Here we
Let's go. I'm ready.
So yeah, here I'm gonna ask the question. The first one to send me the answer wins. It's a really easy question too.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
What is the color of the upgrade store? All right, I'm monitoring the chat. Okay, still haven't got the right answer. Keep going. Okay, all right, Lady Bun Buns, go ahead. What was the color of the upgrade store?
Red.
Correct.
And I only remember that because we're always looking for it, and red is my favorite color, and that's the only reason why I knew that.
That is correct.
I second guessed myself. I was like, "Oh God, is that right?" Oh, just
Yeah, you should have just sent it. I would have been like, okay. But yeah, Lady Bun Buns is correct. There was a point in the game where we thought it was just random. It was just RNG, all of the different stores and banks and stuff. But then we start to catch on, like maybe it's associated with the color. So then we actually just experimented with each of the store colors, and yeah, red happened to be the upgrade store color. I'm kind of glad that they didn't. That kind of fed into the whole roguelite element. Game didn't really tell you. You kind of just learned it on your own. So I like that. So yes, congratulations, Lady Bun Buns. You get a additional point. You get 1 point. I'll make sure to add it in the end.
You said it did fast. I thought I was quick.
It was quick. She went purple, red.
No, I went purple, red.
Oh, just kidding. Purple, red.
I don't know. I was thinking about like at the beginning of the game, maybe it's purple, maybe it's not. I thought that area, where you can select the uniform design and the ship colors and all that stuff. I thought that area was purple. I don't know why I thought that. And then I thought about your question again.
Oh, the main hub world.
Game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was only purple because that was the airline color we chose. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's probably where it came from. And then I thought about your question again. I was like, oh wait, he's talking about something else.
Well, congratulations, Lady Bun Bun. So you get that. You get that point. You get that point. Okay. So next question. What are 2 things you did not like, and how would you improve it? And again, we will be alternating for this one.
All right. As much as I want to touch up on replay value or lack of content, I'll leave that to you guys. I'd rather mention the fact that I don't know if this happened to us, but I saw this in gameplay footage, and I sympathize for the people playing. But I'd rather mention the fact that the space RNG gods blitz your ship with a comet while you're helplessly refueling your ship and ruin a perfect run with something that's completely out of control. Actually. Did it? Okay. Yeah, yep. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, I mean, what the heck even is that mechanic? Who's the sick employee on the dev team that thought something like that is okay? They're just like, yeah, let's run with it. That's fine. The players will forgive us, whatever. No. I remember the first time I witnessed this, and I was baffled. I was like, "This is such a good game. Why hast thou forsaken me?" to improve this, cut the players a break. You know, we're refueling our freaking ship here. Show the players some mercy when docked. I mean, you're in a situation, you're completely helpless to react. So why throw an unavoidable, devastating object at your ship? Like, refueling takes like, what, 5 seconds or less? The comets can wait till after. So why not turn off those comets during those 5 seconds? I mean, that's all I'd ask.
Yeah.
No comets during refuel, please. Okay, thanks. Bye.
It did feel kind of cheap though, because that was one of the things that was one of the things we tested was the comet was coming inbound. We didn't know what direction, but we also needed gas.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
We took the risk. Yeah. We went for the gas, and then I think I was like, "Do you think that comet will hit us?" And then, like a few seconds later, boom, game over, and that was it. Yeah, that would be nice. That should be a safe zone. Actually, you're correct.
It really should. I mean, there's no helping it. You're stuck. You know, it's RNG. It's
yeah.
Yeah. Next.
Fair enough. Okay, one thing I did not like, and how would you improve it? So for the two things I'm going to mention, it's going to be in relation to kind of how I feel about the overall game, and I feel like, hate to say it, the game feels very short. After you complete your first run through, it feels like you've seen everything. I'll go into more specifics here. One thing that I would like to see to help address the whole game feeling short thing is I would actually like to see more complexity within the ship itself as you progress through the game and as the game gets harder. I thought about different ways that they could do it with the existing systems, and I hear a few ideas. So remember that we are only one airline amongst other airlines, right? And I thought it would be pretty funny, be probably a little effed up too, but what if there's a random passenger, you know those random passengers you pick up? What if one of them is actually a saboteur from another airline that is intentionally trying to mess up your flight because you're a competitive business partner of theirs?
That's brutal.
Right? So they could add that, right? Saboteurs, that's another one. So like a standard passenger that's kind of disguising themselves to be a friendly passenger, but they're just working for someone else. On top of that, they could add a gameplay mechanic where you can actually screen the passengers that arrive. It'll take a little bit longer, but you're more safe that way. Make sure the passengers aren't bringing things they shouldn't be onto the airline, because technically you're just picking up people randomly off of these planets, right? Like complete strangers. So yeah, I thought that would be a pretty cool feature. Again, this is under the idea of adding more layers of complexity to an already awesome game. And I think, of course, with the first run through, they're not going to have this, but as we progress and as we do more runs, more difficult runs, I think it would be awesome to have these kind of mechanics. So yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see more complexity in the ship. Maybe make the meals more complex. Instead of just one food item, you now have to do food and drink or something, just add that extra layer. We love the game. We were all very confused when we finished the first run through and then it was credits already. Just want to see more. This game's awesome. I would definitely want to see what else they can do, push it more to the limit, but I'll go into more on this when I do my second thing. So next.
What I didn't like about the game, we talk a lot about the obvious when games are too easy, needs a little bit more challenge, whatever. So I was trying to, and I couldn't find very much. I was trying to find, some things I didn't like about the game. So what I came up with, there were a few times where I was like, why are we doing this? This doesn't make any sense. And continuing that thought from beginning to end, still trying to figure out, trying to answer those questions. Like the one that stuck out to me the most, and I still couldn't figure out, is why is it that there are no seats on these planes?
Shoot, you're right, huh?
Why are there no seats on this plane? Why do we have to pick up the passengers? Why are we dancing for the passengers? Is this an airline or is this a flight school? Like,
the way we were playing both.
But yeah, why are there no seats? And the only plane that has seats is so ridiculously expensive, but it only has one style. So what would I change? Why not give all the planes seats
Or
and
why
just
not
switch it up or something?
upgrade the amount of seats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Ooh.
allow us the option to say, to select the seats as an option and allow us to select where we want to have the seats. Because, playing halfway between a ship with nothing and then the somewhat fully upgraded ship that has, what, 6 seats? I found that placement of things also affects the outcome of our game. So not just where the seats are, but where the power source is, where the cooking stuff is placed, where where the toilet is. I found that all of that kind of affects the outcome of our game. But yeah, why are there no seats on this plate?
Yeah, which makes you wonder, right? Like, and I'm kind of just gonna kind of go off what you were saying, like the customization part of it.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have benefited more because this game it kind of leads itself to wanting the player to do multiple run throughs, but it kind of got to the point where we literally saw every single upgrade possible within like 1 or 2 run throughs. We thought there was more, but it was just a repeat. I feel like it would have been cool, like what you were saying, if we could actually truly customize our ship, like choose placement and really go in there and tweak our perfect cruise line. I think would have been awesome.
Wow, it would have been fantastic.
Yeah, and
most definitely.
Just like what you're saying, customization options. I made a list of stuff that would have been pretty cool. Because as we're getting further and as we're making more money, it'd be cool if you could add like maybe decorative art or something, or sculptures or something to really give us that 5-star feel of a cruise line.
Yeah,
like really make it luxury status, and just, of course, at the cost of it would be these things would require more power and stuff like that. But it's just like it's fine tuning it to that. Adding that extra layer of complexity is really what at least I'm hoping. And from what I'm hearing from you, it sounds like you want more customization options too on the ship. But
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
very convoluted, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I 100% agree with you. So I like it. I agree.
Next.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. I really would have liked to see ship customization. Man, would have given us something more to
to do
work towards.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. I want to talk about lack of replay value and content.
Okay.
Okay.
Because as I sit here now, I recall how so badly I wanted to keep playing, in the hopes that there was more to see. There simply just wasn't more to see after reaching Gambulon 5 after 1 or 2, maybe 3 times. I initially didn't want to mention it because it does seem like the developers seem really proactive and forward and seem to have further visions for improving the game as far as content is concerned. But as of right now, there really isn't much after you've upgraded your ship enough. And then on top of that, difficulty just stops scaling after enough upgrades. I think that was one of my major issues as far as replay value goes. Yeah, I realize, upgrades are supposed to make things easier. But then it's also removing the challenge to the point where gameplay would just begin to feel a little dry, for lack of a better term. I thought of a few ways to approach this, but I think the one that appeals to me most is if the game were to scale the difficulty based on the amount of upgrades that your ship has. At least with something like this, you won't be starting a new run, with your tricked out ship mindlessly cruising through
on easy mode,
monotonous easiest difficulty. It's just like, why are we here? It's like, yeah, it doesn't matter what route we pick, we're just gonna breeze through it, whatever. No challenge.
It's not gonna matter until like 10 or 12 flights in where it actually gets hard.
Exactly. Yeah, and then you just have to keep playing until you get to those harder levels. Then it's like, okay, this is where all my upgrades are gonna pay off. But yeah, that's about it, really. Scale difficulty based on ships upgrades to maintain the challenge that the game presents so well.
Or
I would have liked
or
to see
choose
that.
difficulty, right? When you start your voyage.
Or something like
Yeah,
that too.
something.
Yeah, give us a difficulty slider, maybe. It doesn't matter.
Difficulty
Make
slider.
it. Yeah, that's about it. Next,
So I'm just gonna continue the theme off of what I was saying before. For complexity wise, yeah, it's just, and it seems kind of counterintuitive because this is supposed to be a casual party game, but I'm like thinking in the back of my mind, what about games like Overcooked? Yeah, you had cooking, of course, but then the ingredients that you had to use got more complex. How you formed it, how you created these dishes got more complex, and they started add extra layers of like navigating through the environment. You had to do it while you're falling off of a plane or in between two ships. They just added more and more complexity, and I feel like that is what this game is missing. Really, when it came down to complexity for this game, it came down to a lot of, like I said before, the environmental hazards. And they were definitely getting up there when they started adding the comets, the asteroid belts, like multiple layers of it. But again, they need like something more beyond that. I thought of other ways that they could make it a little bit more difficult, and still stick within the theme of what they currently have. And here's some environmental hazards I thought of off the top of my head. One would be, I think I spoke to McMahon about this after a play session, and I thought it'd be pretty funny. What if they added, space pirates or smugglers that could actually attack your ship? You're a 5-star luxury ship in space with all these high valuable items and passengers. Why not add space pirates or smugglers? If you were to add that, maybe you can add a dynamic where the other players would be able to control cannons on the side of the ship to help push them away. Like, that'd be pretty sick. Or for space hazards, maybe there's a large comet or large asteroid that has a massive electromagnetic field around it. So if you go near it, all systems shut down, and then you're just you have no control of your steering or anything, and you're just stuck there because you made the choice of just staying at that path when you could have easily flown around it. So if you flew around that magnetic comet or asteroid, sure, it would take longer, and that's the risk versus reward again. It's like, will your ship survive if you don't have power and you just move forward without any control? It's like, again, there are these systems in place that they could add that help reinforce what they currently have, and it's just, this game would be amazing if it just took it that extra step further. I feel like this game, what it has is solid, but it still feels like an early access game, if I'm being honest. It's just it needs a little bit more meat in the content, and it's just it's the game's awesome, it's amazing. It just needs a little bit more. But I'll finalize everything in my final verdict. So next.
You know what? I'm sitting here thinking, when you mentioned about these pirates, wasn't there supposed to be an inspector of some sort that
Yeah,
we had him.
We had him one time.
One time.
I was under the impression, and again, it stems from the why is this happening, or why are we doing that, right? My list of whys essentially was, they hype it up at the very beginning during the tutorial, right? Talking about, like, you're gonna have, my understanding was we were supposed to experience like random inspections or something like that, just to find out after we beat the game. And I sat here and thought, oh, I guess that only happens when you hit one or less
stars
of the stars.
Yeah.
And every time we're flying, I'm like, where's his inspector? I'm ready, let's go, and he never shows up. We experienced it one time, and that was in the beginning. But they emphasize it during the tutorial,
Yeah.
that this inspector will be there, and oh yeah, there it is. And that the dance moves, the purpose of it is you're supposed to distract the inspector that never decided to show up because he was too busy partying in space. But yeah, I just thought about that.
No, that's great that you mentioned that, because you're right. The moment he stepped aboard the first time, because our rating dropped because we just got
Yeah.
destroyed on one of the voyages. Just having him there, his presence itself, it made us like change our play style. Like we were more careful on how we were serving the customers. We made sure to plan a safer route. And you're right, like that would have been a more awesome feature if there was quote unquote. I think like random health inspections would have been funny.
That's what I was expecting.
Yeah,
that's what I was anticipating. It would be en route as you're flying the ship through space. I was expecting that he was just going to randomly pull you over like in real life with a cop.
Yeah,
I thought that he or she or it was going to just pull you over and then board the ship, but no, we only saw it once.
That would have been great.
And that was the end of it.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. I like that actually.
I kind of, I just thought about that.
No, you're right though. Now that you're saying that, like randomly pulling us over, what if there were speed zones?
That'd be crazy.
See, like how much potential this game has. It's just
it does.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll talk about that in our final verdict.
So the second thing, before I get too distracted, the second thing that I didn't like, I think it was a personal thing. I don't think the both of you had experienced it, but I was having a lot of audio issues where either I couldn't hear anything or the volume was so low that I had to put in my earbuds and then max it out to like 80. And it was still the equivalent of like 5 or 10. It was so low. And there's so many fluctuations in my audio. Yeah. And sometimes I would hear the ambient noise of the game versus, how do you explain it? Help me explain this. Like the sound of cooking.
Okay, so like sound effects were
sound effects, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But everything else was like amplified. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So the sound of the airport versus the task that you're doing. Like I could only hear the ambient noise of the airport. That
is strange.
So
Weird.
I didn't want to mention it because I was thinking maybe it was just me. I'm just gonna lay low and just deal with it. And then I realized when we finished the game that you guys didn't mention it once that you guys had any audio issues.
We never had, I personally never had any. I don't recall ever a time. I'm not sure about McMahon meat. No,
it didn't sound like it. He's never mentioned it once, and that's why I wanted to wait for tonight to bring that up. That was the number 2 con was it the trouble I was having with the audio.
Okay, fair enough.
But I still enjoyed the game. It was just slightly annoying. That's all.
Last question. What is your final verdict and final rating from 0 to 10 using a 0.5 scale?
Okay. Just to touch up on the things that we could improve the game with, I just thought of this before I get into my final verdict. What if there was a celebrity passenger?
Dang.
Like they pay extra to get on the plane, but they're like extra needy and stuff like that. But they're like super flashy and stand out amongst the other passengers.
Like a very volatile passenger.
Yeah, super needy, complaining all the time about wanting this, wanting that. But it's like one of the adds on to the extra risk, high reward sort of deal. Yeah, that would have been cool.
I like that.
Yeah. But anyway, okay. Spacelines from the Far Out. They did a lot of things right, and they did it well. I applaud this game in all of its excellence in its current state. There was nothing about the game that I could personally consider fundamentally wrong, really. At least nothing that I personally experienced. I do recall a small bug that I encountered. I'm not sure if you guys noticed it, but it was during one of our last playthroughs. A passenger got stuck inside of the TV.
I remember that.
Yeah, I couldn't interact with them, and they were frustrated that they couldn't move, and I couldn't help them. And, I was also frustrated. I couldn't tend to their needs, but then I realized, this is actually one less passenger to worry about.
His fault. What's he doing back there anyway?
And it turns out I didn't have to worry about him because the passenger wasn't even getting hungry. were bored or needing to go to the bathroom, they were just like frustrated that they couldn't move, and that was it. Like, we weren't being penalized for not being able to assist them, and I was just like, huh, this is easy. I like this guy. Yeah. But that's just one minor bug that I encountered. It's really no big deal. But at any rate, I just want to also mention that this game is incredibly aesthetically pleasant to all of my stimulatory senses. The music and sounds, it tied in really nicely to the overall style of the game. And the theme was kind of like it was an era from like the Jetsons, so maybe like mid 1900s retro feel but futuristic. And anyone that knows me, I'm a pretty big fan of that style, especially in video games.
Surgeon Simulator 2. Yeah. Had that same feel.
Bang, that was it. And it was this game was so pleasantly charming and such a delight to play. And I do wish there was more content or replay value, but honestly, I have no doubt that the devs aren't planning anything further to add to the game in its current state. They do seem really proactive from what I've read from the reviews on Steam. Because if you were to look on Steam and take a look at the negative reviews, the developers actually they responded to a majority of those reviews. Yeah, and I was like, holy crap, these guys listen. Like, so if we have anything to say, we should throw that into like the Steam negative reviews. I'm sure they'll hear us.
Just send the podcast.
or just
send
link them this
just
podcast.
send a link.
Yeah, send the link.
Link them the podcast. It is just no body of the text. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hear us out. What in its current state, it does kind of feel like unfinished, maybe like pre-release out beta maybe, but it's still it's a buttload of fun, and I could recommend this game to anyone really if you have more than one person to play with. In the end, I give Spacelines from the Far Out a 9 out of 10. Next.
Okay, so before I even start my final verdict, this comes out of a feeling of love. I love this game. I don't want anyone thinking that because I'm saying so many negative things, I hate it. Usually when I go hard on the negatives, I really go hard, like I sound like I'm very being like critical. It's because the amount of potential I see in the game, and this is going to be one of them. So Spacelines from the Far Out is an awesome co-op management game. Like, there's no doubt. It is definitely one of the most unique co-op management games I've ever played. Like, the layered combo style gameplay of being able to drive and navigate the ship, cook, entertain passengers, manage things like fuel, ship damage, energy levels, etc. It all contributes to this like awesome, unique, fun, and frantic experience. It's the best of a lot of different games of this style. The only problem is, and as was stated before, is like while the core gameplay mechanics and systems are there, it feels like the developers are only scratching the surface of what the game has to offer. Like, the game feels almost like an appetizer instead of a full course, full flight experience. Like, after you complete your first full voyage in the game, you're left with the question of, is this it? Is that it? Really? Like, sure, you can buy a new ship and purchase a few more upgrades, but it just doesn't seem like it's enough. Like, just when you're getting the hang of everything, boom, that's it. The game is over. Where in reality, once you're getting the hang of everything, and just when you think that's all the game has to offer, truly great games go beyond that. And they're like, wait a second, no, there's actually more. What? Are you serious? It was a conversation I was having with McManamy earlier about It Takes Two. And that is a good example of like what I consider, and also Nakuso, to be like one of the best games out there right now. It's an experience where just when you think you've seen it all, they add more. And just when you reach that end, they add more. And you're like, holy crap, this game's insane. And I feel like, if they're to add one or two more layers of gameplay complexity into this, things like Overcooked, it does a good job at making it more difficult, like adding the environmental challenges on top of it. Honestly, this would be the best co-op management game out there. It just needs that extra bit more to help tidy up and help finalize the complete package. And with that said, I give Spacelines from the Far Out a 7.5 out of 10. The game is good. It's really good for what it does, but it hasn't hit that territory of like great or amazing. It's just good. It's a good game.
It has the potential.
Yeah, it has so much potential, and it's just I really hope that the developers don't give up, and like what you're saying. I'm glad that you told me that they're continuously updating it, because I can see a year or two from now once they have more updates, and if we were to ever revisit the game, that hey, maybe it'll get higher scores overall. But as of right now, what it has, it's just a really tasty appetizer. For me at least. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10 is what I'm going to give the game next.
Overall, this game is not that bad. It's a game that children can play, to adults, combination of both. It's quick and easy to learn. It's not too challenging. Yes, it is short. Yes, it's a little too easy for us. But it was just a fun and quirky kind of game,
Mm-hmm.
When you push all the seriousness aside and just look at it overall, there's a lot of things to appreciate, from that's excellent 60s airport future vibes to the roguelike elements. There were layers of, or moments of, consequence and peril and tension, and not to mention, I don't know if you guys looked into it very much, but the passengers, their AI, they were very reactionary to not just what you were doing directly to them or with them, but passengers were also reacting to the impending doom of an asteroid or pulling over to go potty. And I wish I had a chance to experiment to see, does the game scale very well if you move between 3 players to single player. I kind of am curious to see what that experience might be. And despite my audio issues that I was having off and on throughout the game, I thought, this game was awesome. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad to hear that the devs are listening to the public, and they're making the necessary adjustments. And I'm really excited to see how far they'll take either a game like this and make it better, or make a game down the road that is similar but better. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to look at Coffee Knots and some of their games and animations that they've developed. They seem like a really small company in Brazil, so there's a lot of potential. But from what I remember seeing, it looked cool. It was very quirky. The animation, everything looked really nice. So, anyways, I would have to give this game my final verdict of 8 spicy nuked meatballs out of 10.
All right.
So, with that said, Spacelines from the Far Out gets our final average rating of 81.6%, or 24.5 out of 30.
Oh,
yeah, it's a fun game. Definitely try it out. Get some of your friends and go to town. It's an awesome game. But enough of that. No more of that. It's bonus mystery question time. Bonus mystery questions were prepared ahead of time by everyone here, but no one knows who or what will be asking the question. Now it is time to spin the wheel of mystery. Get ready. Spinning the wheel now. Who's going to be asking the question? There it is. And the bonus mystery question asker, the one who has won, the one who has the fate in the hands, is Mr. McMahon. Congratulations, dude. You have been selected by the Wheel of Mystery. So yeah, what is your bonus mystery question?
Okay. Bonus mystery question time. Unbiased, okay? Unbiased.
Okay.
Would you recommend our Spaceline Space Horizon Zorgways to a family or friend? Why or why not?
Oh shoot! You mean the space line that we flew in the game?
Our space lines.
Ooh.
Was that we were in charge, unbiased, because of course, you would think like, hey, we're awesome, No, we weren't always awesome. Would you recommend our space line?
Okay. Oh shoot. That's a good question. All right, let me go ahead and set the timer. 60 seconds, and then we'll get back into it. Starting timer now.
Okay, so this is tough. Ultimately, although I think we did fairly well
Unbiased,
at our jobs,
right? Yep.
Unbiased, yeah. I don't think I can recommend Space Horizons Orgways to a family or friend.
Oh man, dang it.
I mean, flying with us, as pleasant an experience as it may be, there are a lot of hazards that we encounter, and we can't always guarantee your safety or that you would even make it to your destination alive.
Oh, shoot.
I mean, there just wasn't. I mean, we were pretty good at times, but then, you never know. We could be refueling and then a comet. I'm sure there's also a bunch of other I don't know, OSHA violations or healthcare violations that we we just weren't following. But ultimately, if you're going to fly with us, just be aware, maybe you can sign a waiver saying that you're aware of the risks of flying with Space Horizons Orgways. But I wouldn't recommend it if you cherish your life.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, we did great though. Next.
I can just imagine, dude, like let's say like you just go onto an airline and then of course the pilot introduces themselves and they go through the basics, and then right after they do that, they immediately say, by the way, there is a probability that you won't survive this trip.
Brace for impact.
We are seeing a lot of comets, asteroid belts, and potentially a black hole in the middle of the trip. Just can you imagine just like the amount of chaos that would ensue?
Oh my god.
It's like
Get
similar
me off this thing.
Yeah, it's like similar to like a pilot saying, hey, there's gonna be a lot of turbulence, there's gonna be thunderstorms arriving, and it's just like it's gonna scare the crap out of the passengers. God. Okay, so to answer Mr. McMahon-Meat's question, would I recommend the Spaceline shiz to family and friends based off of how we played? I'm gonna say no, honestly.
Good answer.
It was awful. It was very bad. There's vomit everywhere. Things were breaking apart. We lost like 5 ships. And what kind of space
People were
line?
pooping their pants.
People were pooping their pants. We didn't even buy insurance on our ships. Like, I'm pretty sure we made the headlines every time. I'm pretty sure we're bankrupt. All right, it's not looking good. Power problems everywhere. However, so I'm gonna say no in the beginning, but you know what? Give our airline like a decade or so to work out the kinks and the problems that we have with our problem employees. like those other pilots. I don't know those guys. They were crashing stuff. Vomit everywhere. Just give us some time, and I think after like 10 years or so, then yes, I'd recommend the Spaceline. Because just like with
regret it.
just like with anything, right? Like you wouldn't trust a barber who just got out of school, like just after one tutorial, one training lesson, one class. You wouldn't let them cut your hair, or you wouldn't let a person who just finished Surgeon Simulator perform actual surgery on you. It's just you got to give them some time to grow and learn their skills. And I think with time and after many lawsuits, Shiz is gonna be the Shiz. They're gonna be pretty good. I have faith. I have faith in that crew, that 3-person crew. They'll be amazing in 10 years.
Just good peeps.
They need a anime time skip, character growth arc before they're ready. But so to answer your question, no, definitely not. If you give them time after post time skip, yes, they'll be set. Next,
Man, as the primary pilot of Shiz Airline,
okay.
I would say yes.
Dang.
Yeah, I would recommend it. I'd say that we're professionals and we've received the necessary training. And the most important thing is that we're insured. So, if our ship blows up, if you die with it, that's okay because you can just restart. And then you'll have the
life is insured.
Life is insured. I thought you said real life. You said real life, right?
Huh?
What was?
Yeah. Did I in for the question?
Yeah.
I mean, just in general. Just in general. I didn't.
Yeah, so we're insured.
Oh, we're insured. We're fine. We're fine.
We're 100% certified, 100% insured. We are truly superior pilots and stewards and stewardess with superior judgment, and we avoid those situations and we attack them very well with our superior skills. So yes, most definitely, I'd recommend it.
Dang, look, without hesitation. She recommends our flight. Unbiased, of course, unbiased. I like how she started with, as the pilot of this vessel, of this ship, I definitely recommend it.
Here's my unbiased recommendation.
Unbiased opinion.
As the primary pilot of Shiz Airlines.
Of course I recommend it.
Yes, of course I recommend it. You have to trust me.
I like it.
We're insured.
She needs to become our marketing campaign manager because
That's it.
Yeah, if we go out and talk to the public, we're just gonna destroy our company.
No one's gonna fly with us.
Our stock is gonna plummet. Oh my god! Well, thank you, McMahon Meat, for that question. That was great. I'm curious though. Lady Bun Buns, what was your question?
Oh, if I was chosen for the mystery bonus question, my question was going to be, if you could throw in or design an obstacle within the airship, what would it be? So I'm referencing, you have the cooking station. Yeah, you got the cooking station. You got the med vac or the med area when you get sick. There's the toilets. Like, if you had the opportunity to use your creative juices and design your own obstacle, what would it be? Yeah, okay. I would have been curious to see what you guys would have came up with because creative superior pilots here.
I like that. Yeah, my question was it's pretty on the nose, pretty simple. Do you think aliens are real? Why or why not? I went for a more generalized question.
It's a good one.
That's a good one. Either way,
I would have said yes. Trust me, I know.
100%.
I'm a pilot of Shiz Airlines.
Oh yeah,
they're 100% real.
I pledge my heart to the pilot of Shiz Airlines. I believe. Okay.
Co-pilots.
Hell yeah, we got you. To the end, we will sink with our ship. All right. So that concludes this episode of Video Game Book Club. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, everyone's links to their YouTube, Switches, Twitter, social media will be in the description box below. Take care, have a good one, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Video Game Book Club. Say goodbye, everyone.
Later.
Bye.